what can I say? Arsenal have won the champ. What can I say? I'm still in disbelief. I'm still in disbelief that Arsenal won the Premier League. Like, I always want that to happen. You think it's going to happen, but you're always just that little bit worried. But, oh, what a feeling. What a feeling. I may not sound like I'm screaming and shouting, but inside, I really am. And I wanted to take some time after the yesterday's post to soak it in, think about it. I couldn't sleep last night. It took me an hour or so longer to go to sleep. So it was sometime in the morning where I went to sleep. And boys, we've done it. And I want to talk about some of the players that, I mean, look, it's everyone put a shift in to win the league, but the main players to get us there, I thought I'd run through them quickly because I didn't do it last night, and I felt like it was a bit of an injustice on them. So starting off, we're starting the goal. Without David Raya, I don't think we win this league. He has come up with so many clutch moments this season. The amount of saves he's made, big saves, and even when he's made errors, he's come back. Like the Wolves game with Gabriel and him. Realistically, you could blame him or Gabriel. You know, it's either or. But he's come, he's tried to claim, he didn't claim, he dropped it, we concede. And that was a dagger at the time. And everyone was really angry at him. And everyone was like, what the hell are you doing? And in some ways, rightly so, right? You're going to get criticised if you make mistakes. You can't expect not to get criticised. But my God, has he come back? One mistake and he's like, nah. Like, even when he has dodgy moments in games, he makes great saves. So what more do you want? The only thing I would say is maybe be a little bit more tidy with his feet sometimes, and just that kind of stuff, because he sometimes puts us in issues or himself in problems. But in general, anything you want, he'll do, save-wise. He comes and claims shots. He saves a lot of shots. He comes and claims crosses. He does everything he needs to. So what do you want? He's the best keeper in the world, or he's up there at least. He's definitely in the top 2 to 3 keepers in the world. And I would put him number 1, personally. Him, Garcia from Barcelona, and you know what? Probably those two. I would say Courtois, but he hasn't really been playing like that recently. So probably those two for now. They're probably 2 best keepers in the world. So David Raya, outstanding. I want him to get 20 clean sheets. Hopefully he does. But if he doesn't, 19 still amazing. There's the boy. Now, going back to our defence, you can't have just a good goalkeeper. You need centre-backs in front of him. And Gabriel and Saliba, what a partnership. No, I don't care what anyone says. They are the best centre-back partnership in the world. Period. There's no questions about it. Just look at our European record and the fact that we've only conceded 6 goals in the whole Champions League tournament till the final, by the way. We haven't played the final yet, but until that final, that's how many goals we conceded. And if we somehow keep a clean sheet there, it's going to be, that's it, done. So you can't argue that the best back 2 in the world are those 2. And if you've got that triangle of Raya, Gabriel, and Saliba locked down. Doesn't mean they don't have their moments. Doesn't mean they can't make mistakes. But in general, you know you're in for a very, very hard game and you're going to win the league with a back 4 like that. And you know you're going to win the league with a back 2 like that. You just know you are. So that triangle right there, different class. And even look at our players like Calafiori, been injured, come in, done a great job. Hincapié started off, I wasn't that sure. I thought he was a bit rash, but grew into the season. Amazing. Calafiori, if he can stay fit, by the way, what a left back. He just needs to stop being made out of glass. Maybe put a little bit more muscle on, or a little bit more recovery work. I'm sure he works hard, but try his best to stay fit, because those little niggly injuries, they're really killing him. Otherwise, he'd be great. Timber, hopefully he's back for the Champions League final. I'm not sure if he is or not. But if he is, I think we've got a good chance, because he is phenomenal. It was always about him and Reece James, who's the best right back in the league. I would probably say Reece James going forward is better than Timber. Defensively, I think Timber's better than Reece James, but it's a hard conversation because they're both great players. But Timber, Calafiori, Nketiah, all amazing. Ben White, to be fair to him, it wasn't great most of the time this season, but when he did get form, he was really good in his last couple of games. Unfortunately, he got injured. And then going into midfield, Declan Rice, my player of the season for Arsenal. It's either him or David Raya. Those two. Going into midfield, Declan Rice, my player of the season. Well, it's either him or David Raya, but I'll give it to Declan. He has run his socks off, everything off. He would go until he can't go no more, and he would still try. That's the man we needed in midfield, and he did a great job. And then when he got dropped to 6, which most people say he can't do, guess what? He goes and does a great job. Declan Rice, best midfielder in the Prem. Maybe not going to say in a technical stance. Yeah, you got Bruno Fernandes, you got people like Cherky, you got players like that. Yeah, but to come out every single game and be consistent, Declan Rice. 110% every single game. What? 8 out of 10? The lowest most games is the lowest you can give him. So what more do you want? Like, he has been phenomenal. He drove us to a title, and he really controlled midfield when we put him in the 6, along with Lewis Skelly and Odegaard. And speaking of Odegaard, not gonna lie, am I his biggest fan? No, because I feel like he had a really high level when he came into Arsenal, and it dropped a lot. And I feel like he takes too many touches. He kept going out to the right, doing the same moves. But boy, when he was what needed, he stepped up. These last couple games, like say in the month, he slowly started stepping it up and just being decisive. And that's all that matters. He still did his Odegaard stuff, but he was decisive. And if it's not so much scoring goals, it's driving into the box, requesting the ball, getting the ball, trying to find the spaces, finding someone like Trossard in the West Ham game and making something happen. And he has been great. He's done actually what a captain should do, and he's done a great job. So to be fair to Odegaard, I have to give him credit where credit's due. Would I want to upgrade on Odegaard? Probably, but then we've got Eze and Odegaard, and it's a good mix. But right now, don't worry about that. He's been amazing. Speaking of Eze, he's had a weird season. He's been really good and really meh. He's kind of been in that weird limbo where sometimes he's really good and sometimes he's not. But I feel like the back end of the season, he's definitely been really good. He's been a top quality player. And it's not just so much of the goals and stuff like that. It's the fact that his performance has been better in most games. He's been doing a lot more, trying to be a bit more dynamic. And that's what we needed from him. And I feel like he's done that quite well. He's definitely better in the centre, so Arteta needs to keep playing him in more centrally. I wouldn't do what he'd done against Burnley with the Eze and Odegaard, but probably because he played Burnley, he did that. But either or, and you're winning, I think, in most games, because they can just create something. Eze's got that bit more flair, Odegaard's got that bit more control. So it depends what you want, right? So I think those two have been phenomenal. And Eze, I'd definitely give him... If I was giving him a grade rating out of 10, I'd give him a B. But yeah, if I was going to rate Eze, I'd give him a B for the season. I think he's been pretty good, but there's definitely more levels he can go to, and we know that. It's just the more he gets comfortable, the more attacking we go, the better we will see of Eze. Now, going to our... Sorry, actually, not trying to skip the rest of the midfield. Zubimendi, pretty good. Started great, dipped a bit, made a few mistakes, but overall, I think he's been a pretty good sign this season. If he can keep that form of the start of the season, what a player. Maybe take out those few errors that he led to goals, but in general, look, people make mistakes. He's really good in the ball most of the time. It happens. Mikel Moreno, big miss, you know. I feel like he could have been key in so many moments, but he was great when he was playing. He always does a job. He's not the best player in the world. You know what you're getting from Mikel Moreno, but he's consistent. He will be a goal threat, and we need goal threats from midfield, and he's tall as well. So if we do need to throw someone up front when someone's injured or you haven't got any more subs, he's the man to do it. Always does well. And who else am I missing? I think that's all I've got. And I'll say Lewis Skelly, because Miles is kind of left back, centre mid, but his best games have been in centre mid. He hasn't been used enough this season. Arteta, that's one thing I'll say. He has not used Miles enough this season. So hopefully he can learn and play Miles in the Champions League final. Because I feel like him in midfield makes our midfield completely different. And he proved that. His energy, his work rate, his physicality, and just his drive for the ball. The fact that he can just get the ball and just go at someone, we don't have that in the midfield. Like Dex can do it, but Declan Rice seems to only do it on the odd occasion where Miles would turn, and if there's space, he's driving. Like a train, he's going straight into that space and making people either commit to him or driving past them. So we need that in midfield. And I feel like he's been underutilised this season, Miles. Bit of a shock. I don't know if he fell into that limbo. Arteta didn't know what to do with him. But I feel like he's shown Arteta, no. I can do this, trust me, and I'll deliver. So I feel like Miles has been underused, underutilised, but quality when he's been called upon. Now, Mr. Starboy Saka. Honestly, if I'm giving her a season rating, she's not been great. I think he's been, on Saka's standards, he's not been great. He's been average. But he has been injured non-stop. And he's been played a lot. So no wonder the injuries have caught up to him, right? England non-stop, Arsenal non-stop for years. He had us on his back for years. Hopefully, I would say we can get him a rest. But he's going to the World Cup, so he's not going to have a rest. But if he could get a pure rest, heal up, get some of that explosiveness back, he will be back to his best in no time. When he had his best games, which was against Fulham, I'd say this season, he was ridiculous. If he can keep that up, long day for everyone else. People hate on him, but he's so good. Saka is so good at so many things, but he's been off the boil for quite a while. So hopefully in the Champions League final, we can get the best version of Saka, and I think we've got a chance. But look, he's our star boy. He got assists when he needs it. He got assists against Burnley. That cross, great cross to Havertz, and he's the one that made the difference. So, love or hate him, big moments, Saka's the man. And he's been average, but he did the great job when he needed, and he's won the league, and he deserves it more than anyone else in this team. Hail M boy, came through as a left back when we were in the doldrums, in the pit, and he came up, and now he's winning the Premier League because he's quality. So, shout out to Saka. More to come from him. Definitely high levels to go to. But, yeah, just stay fit, bro, and keep pushing. Now, switching across to Trossard. What ending to the season he's had? I don't know what happened, because most of the season, he's been a bit, just what's happened? He was always dependable, always could score goals, always would be, make a difference. And then he kind of fell into this trap where he wasn't doing anything. He was kind of just there, flopping around, not doing too much, kind of being predictable. But the last month or so, he's just going, all right, let's go. And he found his form, and he found it at the right time. So it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if he plays bad all season, you said, but he'll have a great month to win you the league. Anyone's going to take that. So what can we do? Just say fair play. He came up with clutch moments against West Ham. He even hit the post against Burnley. He's been playing so much better, and that bodes well for the Champions League final, because I feel like he'll start because he brings a bit more balance than Martinelli. So I feel like Trossard deserves a lot of credit for just sticking with it. And I'm going to go with Gyökeres. He didn't start the game, but I'm going to go with Gyökeres. He has got so much better in the second half of the season. He's big, he's clunky, he's not pretty on the eye, but he works his socks off. He can be a handful when he gets it right, and if you give him most chances, he will finish most of them. Could be a little bit more clinical here and there. I feel like he should have scored more against Fulham. He should have definitely scored against Atletico. It was a very difficult chance, I know, but for a player of his ability and finishing, I expect him to score, and you can kind of tell by his reaction that he was shocked that he didn't score. But I'd say started slow and got better at the end. If you look at his stats from the start of this year to now, way better than what it was beforehand, and quite high up there with like the best in the world. So I would say Gyökeres, he's had a very good season, but there's a lot more we need from him. He's picked up at the right time, but there's more I need from him. If he scores in the Champions League final though, and we win the Champions League final, then this season will be perfect for him. Like, he'll be great. But I don't know. If he can just be a handful against Marquinhos and I can't remember the other centre-back's name now. No, I used to buy him in FIFA. I can't remember. But yeah, against those two centre backs, if he can be a handful against the PSG centre backs, then we have a chance. Now, going into some of the other players, Kai Havertz. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not his biggest fan. I'm just not his biggest fan. He's a quality player. Like, he's got a lot of technique, a lot of ability, but there's certain players you watch and you're just like, not for me. And I don't think he's clinical enough for me either. But I'll tell you one thing. He may have missed a header against Man City to draw the game. But he scored against Burnley. And it was a bloody good header. And he got up high and he knocked it in. And you know what? That goal won us the Premier League. So what can I say about Kai Havertz? But thank you. Like, everything's forgiven for whatever chances you missed. Everything is forgiven. Kai Havertz has won us the Premier League, technically. So Chelsea fans, hold that. And also, Madueke's come in. Hold that. He got a Premier League in his first season. Thanks. You took Garnacho and you took Gittins with his money. Thanks, bro. Thanks for Madueke. You helped us out. But going to Madueke, he's had moments. I think Madueke, he plays like the way he looks. He looks very laid back. He's got tons of ability, tons of quality on the ball, but I don't feel like he shows it enough. He doesn't have that drive and determination to say, I'm going to beat you every single time, or that he might be working hard, but he doesn't look like he's working hard, which is frustrating. And he's having that clinical nature. But there's a lot of talent there, and he is still young, and if he can unlock that, what a player. I feel like if he realises what he can be, and he can somehow get that confidence, what a player. But look, Madueke wasn't really happy with the signing when we first got him, more because of the fee than the player. But look, he can't set his fee, and at the end of the day, he's come in, worked hard, had some good moments in the Champions League and in the league. And at the end of the day, he's been a pretty decent signing. Not great, decent signing, but look, he did what he needed to do. He covered Saka, who's been injured a lot this season, and you can't fault him for that. And now going to the left wing, you got Martinelli. Martinelli, he is what he is, isn't he? Like, he's Champions League, he's been on fire. Premier League, not so much. Martinelli flatters to deceive. He's got so much pace, so much acceleration, and he normally is quite clinical finishing. He was when he started at Arsenal, but this year, off the boil. Last year, off the boil. And it's just like, he's more of a super sub than he is a starter at this point. And I can see why Arteta's like, we're not going to start you. Which is frustrating because he's so fast, but his dribbling isn't great. He bobbles around quite a bit. And he doesn't like he doesn't have the ability to just do a couple of step overs, a bit of dribbling and beat someone. He's very un-Brazilian in the way he plays. He's kind of old school English, but look, he's clutch in the Champions League and he's a great super sub. I know he might not want to be a super sub, but he's a great super sub in my opinion. So I would say Martinelli, don't start Champions League final, but if we need a goal, we need someone to get in behind, he's the man. And yeah, I think the rest of the boys like Dalman, youngest teenager to win the Premier League. So Carragher, hold that. Abognahall, who's hating on Arsenal, hold that. O'Hara, hold that. A 16-year-old's got a Premier League before you lot, who are professional footballers, and he outdid you at 16 years old. Just saying. And he could be holding a Champions League as well. But he has been amazing when he's played. He's only young, so look, he's done what he does. He's still in school. Jesus, he's doing his GCSEs and stuff like that. But he's been a great player as well. And there's nothing more you can say that can bring me joy, just seeing a Hale boy come up and kill it. But I want to say one thing. I'm a little bit disappointed with Ethan Yeri, and I don't think it's his fault. He wasn't great at the start of the season, but I don't feel like Mikel gave him enough chances in the right positions. So I feel like it's a bit harsh that he's not enjoying this moment too. Just being on loan in Marseille, it just didn't seem to work out either there. So bit of bittersweet, but look, he's got a new contract and from last year. He'll come back better. Ethan Yeri, he's ridiculously good, and I'm sure Mikel's not. He's not stupid. He'll let him know that, look, you had to go out on loan. You're gonna get more game time. Don't worry, because look, the rest of the Arsenal boys are there. Quick word. I missed someone like Mosquera. Brilliant signing for a guy that came in for such a low fee. Amazing, and I'm not really going to talk about Kepa. He's just been a backup keeper. Was okay in certain games. When he was called upon in the final, made a mistake. Yeah. But he is a dependable second choice, I guess. And yeah. Now, going on to the boss, Mikel Arteta. God, he must feel so happy. The fact that he's missed out 3 seasons in a row. And arguably, I'd say the first season he came second was the one he probably should have won it the most. Like, that one, we should have had it in the bag and we let that one slip. The other 2, you can make cases for. But yeah, now he's got over the line and he has been vindicated. The first manager, by the way, to be a player who's played in the Prem to win the Premier League and also in his first job. So he's not had any other jobs as a manager. This is his first job and he's won the Premier League with the team he's at. So first manager to do that. Same amount of Premier Leagues as Jurgen Klopp. I'm not saying he's better than Jurgen Klopp, so Liverpool fans don't get upset. But he has got the same amount as him, and that's a good place to be, you know. If you're in the same level or sentence as Jurgen Klopp, you're doing something right. Now, let's see if you can get the Champions League. But regardless of that, we've won the Premier League. That was the goal. We want to win the league. It's been 22 years, no more. And hopefully this means we can get a lot more leagues coming in the future. And hopefully the Champions League as well. But yeah, guys, let me know if you agree with me, if you think these players are the best players. My 3 best players this season are going to be Declan Rice, David Raya, and Gabriel Saliba. I'm going to say Gabriel just because he was basically there the whole time and he held it down. They're my 3 players of the season. Let me know if you agree. Hope you guys enjoy watching. And yeah, I'll see you in a new one. Next one. Peace.